everyone, it's Jennifer from Flux. Welcome back to the very last part of our Granny Stashdown challenge. We have been working on this beautiful blanket all year round, and I'm so excited to wrap it up with all of you today. This has been such a fun and satisfying project, and we do this every year. So we're going to have our kickoff at the beginning of January to do the next one. But today I wanted to kind of wrap everything up, kind of take you on a tour of this blanket because there's so much going on. It's so much fun. So I'm just at the very end. I just did my last round here. I'm just going to work that very last stitch with all of you and join with a slip stitch to close. Same thing we've been doing. And then we're going to fasten off. So just wrap the yarn around the hook and bring it through the loop. Okay? Get that knot nice and snug. So let's look at this. Let's open it up. Now, if you remember, we began at the beginning of last year with this kind of gray square with just a little bit of pink starting to happen. And over time, it has grown into this lovely throw. Now, this thing is cozy. You could actually use this as a beautiful rug in a low traffic area. You could drape it over a chair or a couch and just look at it. You could also use this as like a play mat or even for a pet to give them a little bit of cushion. So it's really versatile and it's very thick and cozy. There were points throughout this piece that I held 4 strands. And then later on, when the yarn, when I sort of was running out of bulkier yarn, I went to 5 strands. So it's just like a kaleidoscope of color. Now, as we worked, I tried to weave the ends in as I went along. So this is the front of it. Now, if we flip it over, you're going to see that we have ends that we've held along the edges we've worked. And they're kind of all throughout because every time I ran out of a strand, I just tied the next color right on, okay? And that's kind of how we did the whole blanket. So when you're finishing up your blanket, you're probably going to have a lot of little strands. So what you'll want to do, and let me just zoom in so you can see this a little bit better. What you'll want to do for all of these when you're finished your blanket is locate all these little ends popping out, and you want to give them a tug and just a little snip. And a tug and a little snip, and it'll look great, okay? Anytime you find one, they could be long, they could be short. This is definitely an anything goes kind of project. So go ahead, and when you're done, you'll want to just snip all of your ends. I'm going to go through here and snip some of my ends, but I also want to show you, you'll probably encounter 2 types of ends here as you work. You're going to have those that you're just going to need to snip. But you'll want to also have a tapestry needle handy, and I'm going to grab mine. I have tools rolling around over here. You'll also want to grab your tapestry needle because where we just stopped, and let me just locate the what end it was on. I can't, oh, here it is. Where we ended just now, let me just rotate this again. And actually, I want to zoom out so you can really see the full spectrum of this. But where we ended, we can't just snip that because it's a knot at the end. So what you want to do is trim your ends flush. You could actually weave these in individually, but in the essence of time, I'm going to just thread all 3 at once, and we're just going to weave them right up into our stitches. Okay, now when you're doing a granny square, there is a definite front and back. The front, or the public side, is what faced you the whole time you worked because we went in a circle. We worked in the round. So you want to flip it over. I'm flipped over to the back here, and I'm just going to go in one direction with my tails. Just kind of pull them in. It'll pull that knot in a little bit. And then I want to kind of come in the other direction with my tails because that will sort of help lock it into place and keep it from popping out, okay? And then once you came back in the other direction, just take your scissors and fasten off, okay? Now go through your blanket, snip anything else that needs to be snipped as well. Okay, so our ends are all woven in and our beautiful blanket is complete. So that concludes the 2022 Granny Stashdown Challenge. I hope you enjoyed this project. As always, use the hashtag FiberFluxCal to share your work. I know some of you have done multiple Granny Stashdown blankets. And also join our Ravelry group and our Facebook group to share your work as well. Now, if this is something you're into doing, I do this every year, like I've mentioned, and we're going to have one in 2023 as well. So stay tuned. Early January is when I'll announce it. We will do a full walkthrough of how to make the granny square, talk about the supplies, holding multiple strands of yarn and things like that. So I hope you enjoyed this project. If you're ready to make another one or you didn't participate in this one, there's another one coming, and we're going to do the full tutorial and go through all the supplies and talk about how to work with multiple strands of yarn, how to use up yarn. So again, be sure and join those groups and stay tuned. Our next one will be coming in 2023. And this beautiful one is going to get donated to a great cause. So I will see you in 2023 for our next Granny Stashdown Challenge. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the subscribe button to get all the latest FiberFlux video updates. Thanks again.